Well, isn't that just a wonderful sight? We have finally got some cold weather and we finally got some calm weather. And finally as well, the air is dry. The problem we've had here in Brittany, which we get so often, is the continuing southwesterly stream. And we've had like a combination of cold weather, but not really dry weather, which is what we miss so much. And I believe that when you get that combination of cold and wet, the bees that are trying to shut down are really struggling because they are in their colony. The air around them is so moist, and they're trying to also keep that moisture down from their own burning of sugars. The problem is you end up with high humidities in the colony, and I really believe that's one of the contributing factors to some winter losses if you've got a colony that's small that's trying to hang in there. However, having some decent weather like this, where the bees are actually shut down now, they're not going out, flying around, burning fuel, coming back with no actual nectar. We're not in that loop at the moment, and I am well behind with I haven't even started my oxalic acid treatment yet, but I know it's not too late, and I'm going to be doing that this week. The reason why I haven't been doing it is as I just kind of indicated, that we went from really windy and wet and really terrible weather to now we've got some cold, but it's just too cold. And for oxalic acid treatment, the ideal conditions is when the cluster is moving around a little bit, and you do not want a tight cluster. That tight ball of bees that gets tighter and tighter as it gets colder and colder, in some respects, is not what you want when you're trying to vape. I mean, there's a bit of a joke round that if they are in their cluster and you're going to vape them, you go and give the hive a damn good kicking, get them all active first, get them really ranting, then you can get that oxalic acid right amongst the cluster and circulate over the bees. But obviously that's not really the way to do things. We want to do things professionally and properly. So I'm getting myself organised. Well, everything's ready to go, actually. I've been waiting for 3 weeks to get this treatment on. And I can see I'm going to have to go around and treat everything probably twice, which isn't a problem. But it's what we're going to need to do. You know, we've got a new year now. I actually beginning to like this kind of weather now, where it's not damp and not so. It does when it's dry like this. You know, we don't mind because you can still get shit done. When it's wet, when it's cold, it's so discouraging to be out there doing stuff. And that's why I've been in the workshop. I'm still, I think I'm up to nearly 600 frames I've made already. Well, I've made from my old frames, which is fantastic. It's a really nice job to do. I'm just sitting there, ticking over. The fire's warm. We are doing stuff outside. We've been renovating the barn when the weather's good. So it's kind of a very slow process at the moment. We are getting stuff done, and it's building. We're starting to build that kind of regeneration of material. We're gathering things together. We've made plans, we've made sheets, we've made orders of material. Excuse me. So I think the cold air is getting to me. But it's all positive. We are really looking forward to the season. Well, I certainly am. And it's just lovely to come out on a morning like this where it doesn't feel cold, even though if I stood here for another 10 minutes, I'd probably really need to get back inside. But it's -1, -2, beautiful, sunny. When you're outside and you do get some work done, you feel invigorated because you're kind of just getting on with it. You know, you can really get stuff done. Next week, it looks like we're going to have a period of a little bit milder weather. So we're up to 7-8 degrees maybe, which is perfect weather for treating with oxalic acid. So all being well, I'll be getting that treatment on my bees, and as the expression goes, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, off we go into the next season. But it's just getting that treatment on, keeping going, even though you get stalled a bit, even though you're worried, oh, the bee's broodless. Well, I also wanted to talk about a video I saw on the National Honey Show, which was interesting. A presentation by a chap, I forget his name, who was talking about broodlessness in the colony. And it seems that the most likely time the bees are going to be broodless is probably when they immediately go into the end of the fall, just before the winter. And isn't that interesting? Because I'm thinking, well, is that possibly like a reaction from the Queen to go, oh my God, we're losing everything. We're losing all our food. We've lost all our stores. It's getting colder. The sun's going lower. And then they kind of stop. And that's when that brood break is. But then she goes, oh, we can tick over as we are. We've reassessed everything. It's almost like a Queen is saying that. So I believe we've probably missed the best broodless period, which is why I said I'm going to have to do 2 treatments. But 2 treatments doesn't bother me if I can do it, because what else do you do over the winter? If you know you can get to that first part of spring with virtually no varroa in your colonies, or the smallest amount, that's the key to it, and that's what I'm prepared to do. So even though we're late on our on what I would like to be my initial mopping up varroa treatment post Apivar strips, I know that there's going to be some, so I'll have to do 2 treatments. So I'm back off up to the workshop now to carry on. I had a breakdown with my truck last week, but it wasn't anything major, just the electrical contactor switch in the ignition was broken, so that's been replaced. Pretty cheap replacement, so that's a relief, but I knew it was nothing major. It's just one of those things that happens. The truck's 11 years old now, but all is good. We're back up and running. So just plodding along here. 100 sheets, another 100 frames. This is the last of our wax from last year. Beautiful, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And all is good. More frames to do here. That's what we brought in from outside in our dry storage. And this is what I've just done. All the frames here are ready to go. And they're stacked up, they're nice and vertical. There's, I think, about 450 there already, so it's building nicely. This is what it's all about with beekeeping. You have to get the work in. The list of our jobs to do is actually growing and growing, and I'm really worried that what I'm doing now is like, oh, there's so much other stuff to do, but you just got to dig in and get this lot knocked out. I want about 700 frames for me done, and then I've got to do a lot for Christian as well, because we're sharing the workload. He's doing other things for me, and that will be all our old frames used up. And then when we come to use our new frames, it's like probably 5 times as quick to use up the new frames as it is to re-wax the old ones. But it just puts it into perspective. I'm trying to just put that message across that anything you do now is that uses old equipment that you've got time to do it now. Don't wait till March, April time, because we always call it winter work in the summer. And that's just nothing more demoralizing than having not the right equipment ready and not being able to just blitz stuff and get it all done, because it's part of beekeeping. This is exactly what beekeeping is. And anyone who thinks, oh, what do you do over the winter? Must be nothing to do. There's nothing to do with the hives. There's absolutely loads to do. So on we go. Okay, take care. Speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.